Hello, and welcome to Pressing Buttons. I'm Hugo.
I'm Nick.
Another great week, another great episode coming at you. Great to be here. Episode 95. We're 5 away from 100, which we're super excited about if our faces can show it. Yes. No. Episode 95. We got some good news this week. No house cleaning, no housekeeping. So we're just going to dive straight into some news. First big thing we want to talk about is the Xbox podcast news. We talked about it last week, kind of that Xbox was going to talk about their future plans for multi-platform, what they were looking to do, since a lot of rumors were kind of swirling around that there was going to be a lot of games that they were going to bring to other platforms, such as the PlayStation and the Nintendo Switch. And they held a bit of a talk on their podcast. It was about 20 to 30 minutes of information, which honestly wasn't great information, or they didn't really say a lot of things, but they basically said that they are releasing 4 titles that will be multi-platform. They didn't say which titles, but there are reports going around that it's going to be Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, Grounded, and Sea of Thieves. I don't know why they kind of kept it hush-hush. They did say that they wanted to kind of give the developers of these titles the opportunity for them to kind of make the announcement. So, you know, that I can see the basis for that, but kind of like, all right, you could just say it as well, and that's fine. They also announced that Diablo 4 will be releasing on Game Pass March 28th, so shout out to everybody who bought it at full price. Nick?
Wow. I can't wait to
not play it?
respond.
Okay. Microsoft has also said that they're staying in the hardware business. There was a lot of rumors, especially with a lot of this Game Pass stuff, that people were thinking that they were just going to kind of bow out along the lines of what Sega did and just make software. But they are saying that they are staying in the hardware business. They said to be on the lookout for the holidays. There's going to be some major hardware announcement, which is probably going to be like a refresh for a lighter version of the Xbox One X. Is that what it is? I don't even know.
Series S and Series X.
Yeah, I'm so bad at the Xbox ecosystem. I don't even know what.
That's one thing I do love about PlayStation, where they're like, just add a one. It's plus one.
And then they also talked a little bit about the next Xbox, that it's in early development, just like the next PlayStation that Sony announced a while ago. That was an Xbox that's also in early development. And then they said that they are releasing 10 Xbox games this year. So pretty kind of light in information wise. Obviously, this was more of like a rebuttal to all the leaks and, you know, rumors that were going around. They wanted to kind of set the record straight, but also, like Nick discussed last week, it wasn't really meant to be like they were going to give their whole strategy, because they probably have better plans for that down the road. I was a little bit put off by the fact that they didn't want to name the titles, even though it's kind of been going around circulating rumors through the internet of what the titles will be, and you have an idea. They also mentioned that Starfield and also the Indiana Jones games, those are not going multi-platform, which I don't know how much good that does for them. Ultimately, I think eventually they will have to go through that route, especially if they do want to kind of maximize their efforts. Which they also mentioned that one of the reasons that they do want to go multi-platform is because a lot of the layoffs that have hit the industry, it's kind of shifted their focus. So to have a need to release titles in other platforms. And also the other big takeaway is the fact that they kind of announced that they're working on the next Xbox and that they're still staying in the market. I've always said they have enough money to burn, so no matter how much money they lose every year or how well they're not doing in console sales, they still have enough money to just, you know, keep throwing money at it. So good for them. I think it, healthy competitiveness in the video game industry is always good. I always welcome it because it breeds innovation. So I'm excited for that. Your thoughts on this? What'd you get out of this 20-30 minute nonsense?
First of all, are you like making like popcorn in the background or what?
No, it's a heater. It's my heater, man. You know, the heater
Okay.
just.
I thought you were like getting ready for some like hot takes for me. And you're gonna have your popcorn ready.
I wish. You know that heater.
Okay,
has that loud
that heater.
shit.
That's crazy, dude. Okay.
It's New York. Man.
I think the noise of your heater is more interesting than this podcast. So I don't know. I mean, I think not that surprising. I think they just wanted some venue for being able to address some of these like, leaks or rumors or whatever they were, because they were, I think, depending on like on how expansive the rumor or leak or whatever it was, how expansive that was, I think that was just ruffling a lot of feathers with Xbox fanboys. So, so I'm no communications expert. I think this is like a fine approach to try to like specifically address that pocket of the Xbox community that was getting like real worried about this. I don't think there's anything too crazy in here. So I don't think we like learned too much. I thought it was kind of boring. Like I just like stopped listening to it after a bit because I just thought it was like super boring, and I thought it dragged on for like way too long. And I'm like, I'll get the Cliff's Notes after the fact. That's pretty much it.
What do you think of them announcing Diablo 4 releasing on Game Pass? I mean, I know when it originally released, because of the merger hadn't gone through, the acquisition hadn't gone through yet, it was kind of debatable. And they also said that not all their titles they wanted to make available day one on Game Pass. And honestly, it hasn't been doing too well, I would say. It's kind of fallen off real hard. Do you think this is going to be like a good enough boost now that 34 million subscribers, as they say, on Game Pass will have access to it, or you think it might be a little bit too late?
I don't know. Like I'm not that surprised by it. Like to me, assuming that the Activision Blizzard deal is going to go through, I think it's kind of inevitable that all those games are going to make its way to Game Pass. I think if anything, they would just get more creative with like the windowing and like gating specific content in the game, but you would still be able to get some version of the game, for free through Game Pass. So not surprising. It does feel like a kick to the nuts knowing that I paid $70 for the game not that long ago, and I could have played it for a little bit, but I did cancel my Game Pass. So
yeah, I was gonna say that's a silver
it's not going to be.
You don't have Game Pass.
yeah. So it wouldn't have helped me either way. It wouldn't have convinced me to resubscribe to Game Pass if you were going to ask me that question. Yeah, I don't know. I think if you maybe your other question is trying to read between the lines of like why did they choose this title to make a big announcement out of, and it could be that they're seeing some slowdown in the metrics of the game, and they're trying to figure out a way, or they're trying to figure out if Game Pass can kind of like jumpstart the user base a bit, and take things from there. So I think that it's interesting that they chose this. I don't know to what extent it's gonna like change how Blizzard is like managing the roadmap of the game anytime in the near future. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I kind of more or less checked out of this game a while back. Cause we had a good time. Like I had a fun time. I don't remember like what chapter I got through or whatever, but like I was having a good time with it for several weeks after launch. And then I think they started just doing things that were like pissing off the community, and that kind of like gave me a reason to focus on all the other amazing games that were coming out around that time. And we actually like last week, it was either last week or 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks.
We were like, hey, you know what? Let's give Diablo 4 another shot. We kind of are on the search for something new to play. Let's pick it back up, and I just couldn't get the game to launch. So it's like
bad omen.
Yeah. So, and that's through that's not Game Pass. That's through I own it through BattleNet. So that was just like a BattleNet issue. So I don't know what the hell's going on with that, but like I just literally couldn't get it to download and install and all that fun stuff. So yeah, I think that was like the nail in the coffin where I'm just like, okay, I'm done with this game.
Yeah, what can we say? I mean, live service games are tough. When you do launch during a year where there's so many like big game bangers that were just out of this world last year with so many great titles, you do gotta kind of sustain yourself with good gameplay or something to keep people coming back. I do wonder down the road if this will turn into like a Diablo 3 situation where I know obviously in the beginning it wasn't well received, but after various updates and quality of life changes, it did kind of have a resurgence in the later half of its run. So I think it could definitely be done. They just got to kind of focus and kind of fix everything that people aren't liking, because I don't have the game, I don't play it, but from what I read from it, there's a lot of things that could easily be changed that could make the game better for everybody and have the community kind of right back on their side.
Games can change.
Games can change. All right. Next bit of news that we want to talk about is kind of goes in line with the Xbox One, and it's in terms of first party games. Sony announced during an earnings call or statement that there will be no major first party PlayStation games released this year. It's something that we've kind of been talking about the last couple of weeks on the podcast, because we hadn't really heard anything about any games that they were offering. And ever since Spider-Man, they really haven't pushed for anything. The last two PlayStation State of Plays that they've done, they've kind of focused on third-party games, big third-party published games. They did release Helldivers, which has gotten basically like a surprise bump. I believe it's up to 400,000 active users on Steam, which is still a climbing PlayStation record and climbing the ranks. It is a fun game. We'll talk about it during our closing thoughts, but we had a lot of fun playing it. But it's very rare, especially from Sony. I think they got caught a little bit off guard this year in terms of what they were offering. Maybe they're too hung up on the live service stuff. They kind of switched their outlook, the Naughty Dog stuff with them not releasing The Last of Us multiplayer and kind of shifting the focus. The Destiny stuff acquisition, the kind of leading on that, getting delayed and all that stuff. So it is kind of surprising not to have a year where you have something along the line, something big from Sony Santa Monica or Naughty Dog or Sucker Punch or any of those awesome studios that they have. Kind of a bummer. I was looking forward to something. That doesn't mean that there might not be any DLC. I know there were rumors for Spider-Man DLC, so that might still happen, but it's just tough to see. They also said that hardware sales are down from what they were expected. They were expecting to sell 25 million PS5s. They're only looking to do 21 million on the forecast. And they also said that the PlayStation 5 is on the later ends of its life cycles, which probably means we still got another 3 to 4 years of it left. Maybe a little full refresh as opposed to the slim one that they did last year. What are your thoughts on this? Obviously we want these awesome first-party published titles from Sony, but we've been kind of staring at this for the last couple months into this year.
Well, if anything, it was good to just have confirmation that there is nothing. Like I think we were optimistically, we were like, oh, it's the rest of the year is basically wide open. There is probably at least one big game that will kind of come out of nowhere and surprise everyone, but I guess that's just not in the cards for this year. So yeah, I guess it's kind of a bummer, but maybe not that surprising given that we literally just had no information about what that could possibly be. I did see a bunch of people reacting to that comment about the PlayStation 5 and where it's at in its life cycle, and I don't know if there was a mistranslation or people just not understanding what the word ladder means, but people are like, oh my god, PlayStation 5 is done already, it's just getting started, and it's no, I think literally it's in the last half of its life cycle is what they're saying, which I think is technically correct, given prior console life cycles. So,
and obviously it's still doing super well. compared to anything.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's. I don't know. I would need to see kind of like what the like growth rate is in prior PlayStation console generations, but I know they always mention just the pandemic and supply chain issues and all of its stuff. But even with that, I think it's like the fastest selling PlayStation ever, or something like that. So it's doing fine. Like, so I think kind of interesting remarks from the like the head Sony guy. I forgot who exactly like what his title is, but kind of like some fairly like cynical and like negative remarks about like just like framing stuff like that, like saying those things and there's no games. And there was also something about like the lack of like the people don't know like how to drive a business or like how to grow a profitable business.
Issue? You think it was a translation issue, or this is coming across?
Well, I think that life cycle thing was, or people just are stupid and misinterpreted it. But no, but the Sony guy also said something about how like the people at SIE don't understand like how they're like affecting growth and don't understand profitability. And so this is like what like. And then I think they just lost like a ton of like market value, like their market cap like dropped a shit ton.
So this guy's like, giving the Embracer CEO a run for his money as one of the most hated people. Then he's gonna
it's not. No, it's not even that. It's not that close. But it's like I'm just trying to remember. Like I think he needs some like training with how to manage Wall Street. Like it's just like, why are you saying all this shit, dude?
But even though like obviously no first party games, kind of a bit of a bummer. We do. See that there are going to be third-party games. We have Stellar Blade that's releasing, Rise of Ronin that's releasing, and I'm pretty sure there's others down the line, which I can't recall the full names for it right now, but those are obviously kind of getting a lot of strong support, which will be mostly PlayStation exclusives along with PC. So it does look like a good outlook. Even though it might seem like a down year, I think ultimately it'll be beneficial, because it does give a lot more time for these studios, whatever they're cooking, to be, to have more time in the oven. I do think, though, that come summer or whatever it is, Summer Games Fest, any big sort of convention that they have, that they do need to kind of show something for next year, because you do kind of want to get the investors and the fans and all that stuff. You got to give them hope for whatever's coming next year, especially from your big franchises and big studios. Any thoughts you want to share on that?
I agree. Very well said.
Yeah, wrapped it up on a bow for you there. All right. Yeah. And the last thing we want to talk about, and I know Nick is super excited about this.
It's true.
You were supposed, yeah. Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
I thought you froze again. I thought your video. No. I was like, oh no, more editing work? This is bullshit.
You're getting put to work today. It's a new Star Wars Bounty Hunter game. There's some reports going around that are kind of confirmed that Respawn is developing a new Mandalorian game. There were rumors that they were working on another Star Wars game besides the Jedi Survivor and the Battlefront series that they're looking into. And this one's a new Mandalorian game. It looks to be a first-person shooter focused between episodes 3 and episode 6. It's going to be character-focused, so it's going to be a totally new Mandalorian, I guess. Somebody we haven't seen. It's not going to be Boba Fett or Din Djarin. Or Pedro Pascal.
What is his name?
Yeah, Din Djarin. Pedro Pedro Pascal. Let's just say that. It's not going to be Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
And obviously Respawn is known for Titanfall, Apex Legend, the Jedi series, and they were also they were devs in the previous Call of Duty games before they formed their own studio. So super excited about this. I think them making a first-person Mandalorian game, I think it does work. are kind of in a market where a lot of the Star Wars games have been third person. Obviously, you have the Jedi series. There's a new Outlaw game coming from Ubisoft this year. So it's going to be cool to see this. And I'm excited as well because I know how well Respawn does with first person games. And the fact, with the mobility of Apex Legends and Titanfall, I can definitely see them using that on the Mandalorian game with the jetpack and stuff like that, flying around, just doing amazing things. So I'm super excited for this. I'm pretty sure it's going to be technically like a great game, but also I feel like the combat and just the whole aesthetic of it is going to be pretty amazing. You, as the resident big Mando guy, what are you thinking?
That's my persona, as big Mando guy.
Yeah, your dog is named Boba.
That's true.
Got super excited about the Mandalorian, which I didn't get as excited as you are, and I feel like that's you. Yeah, you're the resident Mando guy.
Big Mando guy. I think it's exciting. The fanboy in me wanted the Mandalorian game, but basically it looks like the Outlaws game. Like, so that would have been my dream combo, where it's something more like Outlaws, but it's Mandalorian. Doesn't necessarily need to be Din Djarin or whatever the fuck his name is. You think I would know his name given that I'm big Mando guy?
Hopefully we don't hopefully we don't have like super Star Wars fans that are like listening to us and like, these fucking idiots don't know how to say anything.
That's fine. So that would have been my dream Mandalorian game, but it's Respawn. They're experts in first person shooters. I still haven't played their Jedi games.
Pretty good. I don't think you need to. I think you're fine. Okay. I think you're fine without them.
So so if anything, that's like sharpen their blade with the Star Wars universe, and now they can like leverage all of that expertise with Star Wars universe games. Marry that to their expertise in first-person shooter games. So I think that could be a pretty good match.
Yeah, I think they definitely.
So yeah, I'm definitely excited. I think it's a good combo.
Yeah, I think they, like you said, because of the Jedi games, I think they definitely know their lore. They know how to treat the universe. It's very tough with how crazy Star Wars fans are and how much stuff goes on in the universe and all that stuff. And how much dedication you have to have it to make sure you get everything kind of right with the Star Wars stuff. So I think they, obviously working in the Jedi games, have been pretty good. So it's going to be really great to see those two aspects, how much they know about the Star Wars series and also how great they are at first-person games, kind of get married and see how well that's going to work. I'm super excited. I think... just thinking back on Titanfall and something like Mirror's Edge or something like that, I think this is going to be super, super fun. And, it goes to show you, because this is probably going to be a single-player experience, that single-player games are alive and thriving. So kudos to that. And that's it.
Dude, just double bow.
Oh, yeah.
Put a bow on that one, too.
Well, all right. That's it. Kind of short week for news. Not a lot going on, but... I think we covered the most important things. Let us know what you guys think. If you have any thoughts on any of these news, the Xbox stuff, the PlayStation stuff, and the new Mandalorian stuff. We're going to move on to some closing thoughts. I will start it off. I have been playing Helldivers, really is the only thing that I played new. I have not kicked into the Infinite Wealth gear, which I'm worried about it, but I know you're stuck in Doki Doki Island, so I'm okay with that.
Dodonko Island.
Dodonko Island. Yeah, I know you're stuck on that, so I'm not too worried that you're
I'm
gonna
not
finish
stuck.
it.
I'm not stuck. I'm thriving.
Yeah, you're enjoying
myself.
You're fully encapsulated in the island.
I'm getting it to be a 5-star resort, and then I'll resume the game again.
Yeah, I feel like I have enough time. Also, you have a baby and 2 dogs, so when I do get to that point, I feel like how I usually do, I will eclipse you in terms of.
It's been the perfect like mindless, when I have like the little time I have to play games, I'm just like, I just need to like run around and hit a tree with a baseball bat. a lot, and like
So relaxing.
it's perfect. Yeah. So it's been great. So yeah, I've that's pretty much like the majority. Like I've also played Helldivers with you,
Yeah,
and
that was pretty fun. Ollie, you and I play Helldivers for game night on Thursday, and that was pretty fun. Like I said, I had already played the game myself, the first one, and definitely seeing it on a third person experience gives it a whole different dynamic. It makes you feel like you're in there, you're in combat, and also it's cause for more hilarity to ensue because there was a lot of friendly fire, a lot of grenades thrown that actually killed people. So that was pretty fun.
they call me I'm Doctor Friendly Fire. Like
I did like that you guys really enjoyed the game. I know we have been looking for like another game to kind of jump into with with these type of multiplayer offerings that are easy to jump into and jump out of, and it's just mindless fun that you could just shoot aliens and bugs or whatever for a certain amount of time and do these little missions. So a lot of fun. I definitely want more people to play it. It did suck that there was like an XP weekend because the servers were over capacity, and then I tried to play it this weekend and the servers were still over capacity, so that kind of sucked. But that just goes to show you the sparks that some of these games have. Obviously, we had it with Power World at the beginning of the year, and I think that's kind of weaned off. I do think Helldivers will have more sustainability just because it's a multiplayer one and it's easier to jump in and jump out of it, and it's fun. It's fun, mindless. It gives me like a little callback to like Gears of War, staying up late at night and playing that. Early Destiny, staying up late at night and playing that. Call of Duty, stuff like that. Like it's just fun to play and joke around and mess around with your friends. So pretty fun stuff. And then as far as TV, I've watched Love is Blind. I was waiting for a reaction from you from this. You don't know what this is at all.
I'm waiting for you to.
Love is Blind is just this show on Netflix where like people date each other, but they don't know what each other looks like. So you kind of just have to find stuff about each other, and then you have to propose to the person without even knowing what they look like. So it's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious,
Okay.
It's just hilarious
For you.
It's hilarious for me because we've all been in that situation of dating, and looks are a thing that people look for. Obviously, you want the whole package of looks, personality, and a good person, but it's kind of hard when you take off one of those. And it's just funny because people are like, it shows you humanity at its basis level, where it's like, okay, maybe I thought you were nice, but I don't like the way you look. So it's just funny. And it's popular. I like these type of shows. It's also good to like have in the background and while you're doing something and mindlessly watch it. And it's just a study of the human nature. So I like studying human nature. I'm not a psychopath. And then I also watched The Iron Claw, which was depressing as fuck. That one starts.
I don't know if I can watch it, man. I feel like it's like too heavy. I'm a big wrestling fan,
Yeah.
and like
It was good. It's heavy, and then like I had read about it when I first heard about the movie. I read about the family and stuff, so I kind of knew all the shit was gonna happen. But it's a good movie. It's just a bit of a bummer. So if you're in a bummer attitude, do not watch this movie.
I can't watch it. I need content that helps me escape.
Yeah, bumness. Okay,
in a positive way.
Gotcha. Oh,
like hitting trees with a baseball bat. Like
getting some
that.
Sujimons.
That is good.
But it was
collecting Sujimon.
But it was really good. Zac Efron did great. I like how he's kind of evolved into this great actor, and then Jeremy Allen White as well. The whole cast is really good. It really captured that wrestling era, so that's pretty good. Definitely some heavy material. So if you don't mind being bummed out for a bit with all the crazy shit that happens to this family, you should check it out. It's a great performances. But that's it for me. What about you? What you got? Show me what you got.
Oh, show me what you got.
I did go to a Chromeo DJ set. If you guys aren't familiar, Chromeo is like this funk disco house people. It's hard to explain their music, but I like them. And I went to a DJ set that they did. They just released a new album on Friday, and that was really enjoyable. So if anybody's looking for some new artists, look up Chromeo. Some good stuff. And now onto you. My bad. That is my last thing.
Well, no, I think you spoiled it. It's basically been Helldivers, which had a great time. Like I wasn't really. I basically like got the game, did the tutorial as fast as possible, so I could immediately start doing multiplayer session, and I was kind of just like following your lead with it. So
Oh yeah, I was leaving.
I still need to get like way deeper into like all the systems and I think like a lot of the missions we're doing are like super easy, and I know it's gonna get more.
Yeah, we didn't
more
get into the
intense.
hectic stuff, which I was, like that. That's why I was like, oh, we're gonna start. It starts off slow, where you're building it up, and then it does hit a point where it's like, oh shit, it's hectic. It's like it's war. So
Yeah, I've seen people streaming it, and it's like, oh my god, that looks insane. So, whereas we're just like shooting like simple waves of bugs right now. So
yeah, the bugs.
but
are the easiest.
no, it's like I like the humor and kind of like all the production value added. I think the game looks incredible. It runs very well on PC. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that more, and I could definitely see that being a game night staple. The only gotcha is there's no Xbox version. So
Yeah.
for those who
Not-
remain nameless, who are only Xbox players, it creates a situation where not everyone can play the game, and
Not yet, at least. Not yet, at least.
yeah.
Hopefully, they do make an Xbox version, because definitely, not that there aren't enough players. Obviously, it's hitting great numbers, but to be able to play with other friends that don't have access to a PC or a PlayStation would definitely help. And it's fun. Like that was my main concern, because I knew it was going to be fun because I really enjoyed the first one, and I wanted for you guys to enjoy it. And that's why I've been kind of like plugging it and saying, oh yeah, we should definitely get this. And I'm glad that it did hit it off for you, and I'm that there's anticipation for how much more fun you guys are going to have, because it is going to get better as we progress.
Gravy. And then and it's been Infinite Wealth, so I've just been kind of chipping away at the island game.
You know what? I make a
pretty much
promise this week. I will Infinite Wealth something. I will play Infinite Wealth, and then depending on how much I get into it, I might play it more than you. I might get to the island.
That's very easy to do, yeah.
Yeah, very easy.
I don't think you'll like the island and stuff. So like you'll probably just do it for a couple of days and move on.
You don't know that. These that's I hate well documented in our podcast that I kind of hate extra stuff in games, especially like building stuff and planning stuff and all that shit. But these Yakuza Like a Dragon games, they know how to get me, man. Because I am playing all the mini games, I am doing all the random stuff. I'm collecting cans. I'm doing business,
delivering pizzas.
Yeah, delivering pizzas. So making business ventures. Like I'm doing all that shit, and I hate doing all that shit in any other games. But they know how to get me. They make them so fun. So who knows? I might get trapped in Dondonki Island as well.
Okay, so that's it for me.
All right, that's it for us too. Good episode 95. 5 more to 100. Make sure you guys check out our Discord, pressingbuttons.gg, where you can get access to all our links, our YouTube channel, our Discord channel, our Twitter, which we don't tweet, our Instagram, which we don't use. At some point, we might. I need to start posting some clips of us.
We're big on TikTok though, right?
We are big on TikTok. No, we're not. Unless somebody's putting TikTok.
I mean, you're doing all this dancing these days, so you might as well just record it and put it on TikTok.
No, those are exclusive only. You have to see me live if you want to see me dance. But yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. Another episode in the books. Sorry for the little technical issues, but what's a Pressing Buttons podcast without technical issues? I'm Hugo. Bye.
I'm Nick. Later.